And what does it mean actually when you see this? When you see this, you say that it's actually the monopoly of the public communications, the old tower that could speak to masses of people, doesn't make any sense anymore. People are communicating in different ways that we can't control anymore. And all the structure that financed journalism for many, many years collapsed by definition. This is the new media environment that we have, but we don't understand it anymore. Still, actually, we are not able to operate in the system properly yet. And that's the kind of structure that when you compare it, looks very similar, right? But this is a proper depiction. This is a graphic depiction of the networks in the brain. Am I saying that the internet is brain? No, I'm not saying this. But what I'm saying is that when you see this and you consider the implications of it, we have actually the structure, we have the paradigm built already to the emergence of a global awareness, which is pretty new when you think about it. It's a very ancient old dream that we had to behave ourselves or to see ourselves or to treat ourselves as just one organism, just one species, just one big being, maybe. But actually we have the most powerful network, very similar to the brain, what I like to propose here, that we have the potential now in our hands to create the first global awareness, a consciousness that can be, how can I put this? As I said, I'm not very used to present ready-made presentations. I really rather improvise. But what I want to propose here is that I'm very happy that we have this now. Not because the potentials are so great and we can do so much amazing stuff and we can see ourselves as just a big humanity, but in fact it came in the right time. We are desperately needing this. We're desperately needing a global awareness, a consciousness that can be shared among everybody, and everybody can be a part of creating this global consciousness, because for the first time, and I really mean this, and you know this, probably I don't have to explain to y'all people here at Boom, probably the reason why many of you came here is exactly because you share this very simple idea that we are living in an evolutionary crossroads. For the first time, our species are in jeopardy here. We're living in an evolutionary crossroads. I insist in that term. What we're doing this time, in the decades to come here, it will define actually our evolutionary destiny in the planet. And when I see this with the digital world, with the potentials that when information became science, we can actually build a global brain. But it's not just about technology, right? Why am I putting this here? Why am I putting this son of a bitch here, actually? And I think it's ironic that Time magazine put him on the cover and wrote this. Deal with it. When you think about it, media had a large part playing this. Media actually helped a lot to provide this to the world, to the United States, but more than Trump, more than the figure itself, what does it represent? In my mind, it has a lot to do with that reality quote. We don't believe it, but here it is. The fact that we are living in denial, that we are going deeper actually in the outdated, but still very real culture of the ego, culture of the greed, culture of the products as a sign of success, the self-obsessed framework that provided not Trump, but the climate change that we're living now. All the depression that we can see, all the people taking more psychiatric drugs than the psychedelic ones, that tells you something. What I'm proposing here is that if you consider the global brain that it's emerging, if we consider that we might have actually a global awareness that has to be raised, we had to bring at the front of our mind what we perceive as reality. If you go further on the analogy with the proper brain, with the biological brain, we know when we analyze this network here, how the thoughts are produced. It's billions of unconscious interactions between neurons and information that finally provides a superficial thought and experience. What raises to our awareness is just the end of a long, invisible, unconscious process. What I'm proposing is that this is exactly what we are producing with our unconsciousness, with our creating a global awareness without actually being aware that we're creating one. That the problems that we are facing are actually problems of our species. And what I'm trying to say as journalism, finally, as a psychedelic mission. Oh, so here's Trump. Here's another example. This is a civil rights movement, Black Lives Matter in the United States. What's different in this image than the 60s or the 50s or the 40s or all the freedom fighters? They are not only holding electronic devices. They're actually neurons that can change this information with a larger organism now. They don't need the big eye of the media to make their stories